Chapter 1. Ink and Wisdom. The story begins where most endings are written, in the quiet moments before everything changes. The sun hangs low over the Nile, its golden light spilling across the mud-brick walls of the royal scribe's workshop. Here, in the heart of Thebes, the air hums with the rhythmic scratch of reed pens against papyrus, the whisper of ink flowing like the river itself. This is where knowledge is not just preserved, it is forged. The scribes of the new kingdom are more than mere record keepers. They are the architects of diplomacy, the translators of empires, the keepers of secrets whispered in tongues from the edges of the known world. Their hands move with practiced precision, inscribing hieroglyphs that will outlast kingdoms. But their minds are even more agile, fluent in the languages of allies and adversaries alike. Akkadian, the tongue of Mesopotamia, and Hittite, the speech of the distant north, even the guttural syllables of the mysterious sea peoples. To master these languages is to wield power. Among them stands a young scribe, his fingers stained with ink, his eyes sharp with ambition. He is not yet a master, but he is learning the way words bend to will, the way. A single phrase can open doors or seal a kingdom's fate. His name is Jehudi, and he is one of the few chosen to study under the great SamEnrico, the royal scribe who has spent years deciphering the cuneiform tablets brought back from the battlefields of Kadesh. SamEnrico's voice is low, measured, as he traces the wedge-shaped symbols with a gnarled finger. Language is the bridge between worlds, he murmurs, and we are its builders. The workshop is alive with the sounds of scholarship. A scribe in the corner murmurs a translation aloud, his voice rising and falling in the cadence of a foreign tongue. Another scratch is out, a new word in the margins of a scroll, his brow furrowed in concentration. The air smells of papyrus and ink, of sweat and the faint, earthy scent of the river. Outside, the calls of merchants and the clatter of chariot wheels drift in, but here, in this sacred space, time moves differently. Here, the past is alive, and the future is being written. Jehudi watches as SamEnrico unrolls a scroll of Akkadian correspondence, its edges brittle with age. The words are sharp, precise orders from the pharaoh to his governors, demands for tribute, warnings of rebellion. But beneath the official language, there is something else. A subtext, a layer of meaning that only a trained ear can hear. You see, SamEnrico says, tapping a line of cuneiform, the king does not just speak. He negotiates. He threatens. He bargains. And we are the ones who make sure his words are understood. The lesson lingers in Jehudi's mind long after the sun has set. As he walks back to his quarters, the streets of Thebes alive with the evening trade, he thinks of the power of words, not just the ones carved in stone, but the ones that slip between borders, the ones that change hands like gold. The scribes are not just servants of the pharaoh, they are the unseen hands that shape the world. And Jehudi wants to be one of them. The next morning, he returns to the workshop before dawn, his mind already racing. The scribes are gathered around. And nearer of all, a tablet from the land of Punt, its surface covered in strange, looping symbols. No one in the workshop recognizes the script, but SamEnrico's eyes gleam with challenge. This, he says, is why we study. This is why we listen. Because the world is vast, and its voices are many. Jehudi leans in, his fingers itching to touch the unfamiliar marks. He does not yet know the language, but he knows the feeling, thrill of the unknown, the promise of discovery. This is the work of a scribe. This is the work of a scholar. And as the sun rises over the Nile, casting its light upon the ink-stained hands of the scribes, the story of their wisdom begins to unfold.